Good morning, Canadian Yarn Hawk. I'm Vase, and as you can see, I finished this yesterday, so I managed to get it done. So what I will be working on is, it is actually some R&D for a future video. So it is going to be a cardigan, a very nice light lacy cardigan that I'm using that hook with. I will link that in the video. I won't link the yarn because it is a yarn I got from a Lens Mills ends, like I showed with the cotton. The closest you would probably get would be a Caron Simply Soft. Now I'm going to move over to my overhead and I'm going to show you some things on the label. So I will be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to show you, this is the back of a Caron Simply Soft. The color, as you see, is grape. Now what I want to talk about is that. That is a 4 medium. I would actually classify this yarn as a 3, but they classify it as a 4. This is for what size knitting needles are primed to get your gauge, but it also tells you what needles they suggest for using. Same with the hook. So that would be your gauge swatch. I am guilty. I do not do gauge swatches. Then it shows, I know these are the washing ones, like that's machine wash, do not iron, do not dry clean. I do not know what that one is, or that one. But then it will also tell you what material it is. So there's 100% acrylic. It shows you how much. And then I like to go by yards or meters. That seems to be much more accurate for me. So that is how you read a label, just in case nobody's explained it to you, you don't fully understand it. So what we are going to do today is, I have this flower vase that I made. We're going to make it. You can use it as a flower vase, and this one is the very glow-in-the-dark glow yarn. So I decided to make one with it. And what I have is a timed tea light. What they do is they come on for 6 hours and they go off for 18. So this one will come on by itself, and then you'll have a soft glow as it's fading down. This is just a regular cheap yarn I grabbed from Walmart, probably their brand yarn, or it's possibly the yarn I'm using for that. Could be that one. So I'm going to put that up there. Now, all I did was I went to the dollar store and I got a glass vase. The diameter is 3 inches by 7 inches. It says it right there. Go. And I like the taller ones. I'm going to move these. That's for Thursday's episode. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. And then I'm going to put that right there. So let's go there. 1, 2, and the 3. So we're going to make it with, actually I was going to make it with this yarn, but I actually decided I wanted to do it with the glow-in-the-dark yarn because I adore glow-in-the-dark yarn. So I thought I could do a really nice glow-in-the-dark vase cover, which will and should be a really nice addition. So I do have another package of this one. I will link it in the bottom because I did get this off of Amazon. These don't say much, just the weightage. They are from, I think, from China, if I'm not mistaken. I ordered them off of Amazon, so don't always know where you're going to get it from. So we are going to use, let's see, we are going to knit these. These are knit because I want to do knit this week. I figured that would be a really good idea. I've done a few crochet projects. That little guy there, he will be a future video. He was R&D. So these are 7, and these are a 7 needle, and these are a 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast on with a 6 or a 7 hook. Let me see if I can find my 6. 6, 5, 3. No. I'm going to have to use another set. So I don't know where my 6 is. Yeah, there it is. I already had it out. That was for a different video. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to cast on ink. I think I'm going to use the larger needles. So I'm going to pull the 2 out. My hook, I'm going to touch back down. So there's my hook and my needles. Now, grab the yarn. Slip knot. Now, as I've said in an earlier video, do not forget to run this through your hair. Especially if they're wooden or if they're not. If they're not, that's good. If they're wooden, it will help condition them. That is very important for wooden needles and hooks. So now I'm going to wrap around the needle and pull through. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do this for, I'm going to say 30 stitches. Actually, how about we do that first? I'm going to chain 30 stitches on this. 2, 6, 7, 9, 10, 16, 6, 30. So there's 30. And what you're going to want to do is, that's about a perfect size. So you don't want it touching. You want to leave a bit of a gap. So that'll be a perfect size for that. So now, undo, frog. Seems useless, but otherwise, this one is a little loose because I didn't do it properly. So I do recommend wrapping it around, taking those extra few steps just to wrap it and see if you're going to get a tight fit. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10. I'm going to pause it and I'll be back when I have 30 stitches. Okay, so we have 30 stitches all cast on. Now, what you're going to do here, oh, wait. I want the top and the bottom on this one to be fuzzy. So we could do that, or we could do this one just without, so it just covers. Like the fuzzy. So, now, that may have seemed redundant, but it still allows me to know which stitches will be best with this yarn. That's where I made the mistake with the last one. Now, I'm going to grab this ball of yarn. Now, what this is I grabbed many years ago from Dollar Tree. And some of them still do have this kind of yarn. It's 50 grams. And it's a nice fuzzy yarn. I grabbed it many years ago. I grabbed a ton of it because I absolutely adored it. It was like $1. And it was Dollar Tree. So we're going to cast on. And we're going to do 30 stitches with this one. And that way, when I bought it all up, I bought that particular store out, I think, multiple times over. Many times I would go in and I would buy this yarn. So I do have a ton of it. But you can buy eyelash yarn. You could use any textured yarn, so any yarn that is not like this. So I have this, what you would call a Vase yarn, I think it's called. This is just from the dollar store. Very little information about it other than 50 yards, 50.3 yards, 46 meters, and 100 grams is pretty much all they give you other than washing instructions. But you could use this as a border. I just really like the look of black on them. I think the black looks really, really nice and is cast on the same exact way. And you count the stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm going to do the next 20 and I will be back. Alright, so there's our 30 stitches. This will be a little hard to see, but you are only doing 1 or 2 rows in stocking stitch. And all you're going to do is just go in to Hello Charming. And this is my son's cat Charming, who will, I'm sure, get under the camera as soon as he can. Hello. And you're just going to knit across. And why we're using the large needles is because I want a large hole for the pattern. So this particular pattern is not going to be exactly as the pattern you see on that one, but it is a very close, it is the closest. It's actually going to be this pattern that we're doing, but you can't really see it very well. I will have to do some R&D and figure out what I did for that pattern, because I made that one probably about 10 years ago, but it's easy enough. I probably wrote that one down somewhere. So you're just going to keep knitting away. And as you've noticed, I have dropped a stitch. You are able to pick them back up sometimes. And you're only doing 2 rows of knit. Just to give you, yes, hello buddy. Just to give you a little bit of black on the bottom so you tie the ribbon in, because we are going to be using a ribbon on this as well. That will be the corset. Oh, I have to pause. Hold on. Sorry, cats don't always get along. Sometimes you got to break up a fight. And so you're just going to keep knitting away at the first row. It is a little complicated. It's a little more awkward for me. I'm not used to knitting at a desk, so crocheting, it's a little bit easier, but knitting, a little bit more difficult at a desk. I will get used to it, but it's a little more awkward with these longer needles. I'm sure if I went with, I can't remember, interchangeable needles, they would be much better. And I do have a couple of nice sets. I have a really nice Knitter's Pride interchangeable needle set, and they do work. I might end up trying them one day, seeing how filming with them goes, but I do like my straight needles, I will say. If I have the chance, this is why I did come up with this idea, because I did love straight needles and doing patterns with them, and just figuring out different stitches. And with aluminum needles, you will get that sound. I don't know if you're hearing the needles rub. It is a sound that goes along with these kinds of needles. That's why I do prefer a wooden needle. Maybe I will dig out my wooden 7s. They might be a little quieter. We're almost done this row. So I'm not going to change size, but I am going to change yarns next. But I think I'm going to pause. I'm going to find my 7s, because those were 6s. And I'll come back and I will change to go in the dark yarn. Well, I couldn't find my wooden ones, but I found my acrylic ones, so those will do. Yes, they are very well used. So I'm going to run it in my hair, ensuring I get the oils on it. We're now going to trim the yarn, leaving a small tail. And now, so that's that until you're done. So now we're going to find the end of the glow in the dark yarn. To insert in the first stitch. So we're going to knit this stitch. And then you're going to want to go over and you're going to grab 2 of these stitches. Into 2, around. That is a yarn over 2 to knit 2 together. So you're yarning over and you're knitting 2 together. And as I said, when changing over yarns, that first one's always going to be the hardest, especially with knitting 2 togethers. Go to the edge of your needle, and there you go. I'm going to leave that tail, and then yarn over, and 2 together. So you're going to do this to the end of the row, and I will see you when we get back. Okay, so now that we're done that, I'm just going to put these guys away, and I will link all the materials I have in the description below. But now that you're on the back side, you're going to purl this row. And that's pretty much your pattern. You just want to 1 and purl. And you could do 8s or 9s if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend a thicker yarn other than that glow in the dark chenille because you really wanted to see what it looked like. But I would not recommend much thicker because I did find that it needed less stitches. So I did do 30 on that one and I would have liked 25, so it actually stretched the glass a bit, like I think this one will do. So you just go across this and I will show it glowing when I'm done with the vase or the candle cover. As I said, I like to use a timer tea light. If you're going to put a real candle in it, I would recommend taking this off. And then you can burn the candle and then just put it on at the end. I've done that. So now we're back at the beginning. You want to go in, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together. Same as the first row. This one's a little easier to watch me do. So I will show you when I come back after my progress what it looks like. But so far, that's what you're working with. And I will show you when I come back. So if you wanted to know how long to make it, just as an additive, we will tape. So it is a little over 7 inches. So you probably want to do about 6.5 inches. And that way you'll have enough room just to do the 2 black rows on the top. So I'll show you what my progress looks like when I get there, and I'll see you then. Okay, so basically I'm right about there, so I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to change back. So I used basically 150-gram ball. This one was used, so 150-gram ball would be enough with this set of needles, size of needles. So I'm just going to put that back on, down, that over there, that over there, grab the ends, and you're just going to add, just like you changed over, this one you're just going to knit. Just going to put 1, 2, 3, all the way to the end of this end of the row. And that, and then you're going to knit back, and that will be your cozy. You will darn in the ends, show you when that is done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lace it up if you want to corset look. You can just darn up the seam, and that would look nice too. I really like the corset look on these, so I'm going to do the corset look. And when I'm done this row, I'll show you how to lace it up. I do hope to earn your like and subscribe today. If you have a comment, question, or concern, by all means, or something you'd like me to do, by all means, leave a comment. I definitely hope to earn it today. And I will be back when we're ready to lace up. So I don't know if I've shown this before, but what we're going to do is we're going to show the cast off. So you go through, pull it through the loop, up. So you now have 2 stitches. This is probably the worst yarn to show casting off with. Pull through the 2 loops. So then you want to go in, around, up, through the 2 loops. Black is the worst color to show this with, but cast off. And that will give you a nice, solid, elasticy cast off edge. I do prefer to cast on and cast off with a crochet hook. It does give you a really nice elastic edge. So there that is. So I'm going to darn out my edges, and then we will corset it in a sec. Okay, so here we go. Now I have this. I did get this from Dollar Tree as well. It's a ribbon. I'm just going to pull this off. You are kind of guesstimating. Oh, I'm just going to pull that off. There we go. And now you want a good bit. Maybe not quite that much. We're gonna probably about that long. So I'll wrap up the rest of this ribbon because I will use it for another vase cover I do plan to be making. So we'll just put that there. So now you want to put the vase in the middle of it, and you want to be at the top. So you're gonna, oh, I guess I missed an edge to darn in. You're gonna do is you're gonna pull them even when you get it through, and then fold over, and you lace them up like you do shoes. Just keep crossing, and you just keep putting them in the spot you want them in. That. Take the vase out. I do wonder if I've made this a little large, a little too loose, but that's all right. Just going to keep lacing it up, crossing and lacing, crossing and lacing, just like you would a pair of shoes. Tighten. Just kind of come up, then I will pull out. One. You can use a needle if you want to. I find, and you can also do it this way where you leave one end down, skip a hole, weave it down the next one, skip a hole, weave it down the next one, and then you weave it to the end. You go back, you go in to the holes you missed. Just weave it around. There. There. That's why I weaved it in the wrong one. That makes more sense now. So that one's there. Here. There. Down. Okay, I'm going to finish this off and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, so now that we've got it to the bottom, you're going to just tie it up. A ribbon in it, bow in it, just like you would shoelaces. Nice and tight. And then you put it on. And there you go. It is a little bit loose. I should have tightened it up a little bit more. But it's probably a little bit better on the smaller one, to be honest. So try it on the smaller one. There we go. And there it is. The corset part is not the best. I don't think that's the best ribbon I've ever used for it. But I will work on it. Generally, that is, there's that edge darned up. That ribbon was not the best ribbon, apparently. So for some reason, that ribbon did not work fully for me. But let's see if it'll work a little better here. So there it is. I'm going to go put it on in the light with my UV light, and I will take a picture of it or show it when it's glowing. So we will be back in just a sec. Actually, I decided I wanted to tighten up that top. There is a way to do it. I'm going to leave my blue light sitting here on it. But you're going to take just a black piece, and I'm just going to come up and I'm going to weave through this top and just tighten it up a little bit. You won't notice it because it is the same yarn, but this way it'll have a little bit tighter right there. We're just weaving in amongst it all as it's getting charged by the light. And as you can see, it's definitely tying, and I'm going to tie it here just because it is way too loose. So we're going to tie it, just knot it, do another knot, just trim the edges because I don't think you'll notice it too much. And now It's sitting there a little bit more tight on it, so that way you have a bit of a flare at the bottom. So there's the charging that I'm doing. It's just running it around. So I'm going to pause and show you what it looks like in the dark. So there it's looking, not the best when I don't have it fully charged, but there it is. And there you go. Have a great day. I hope to earn your like and subscription, and I'll see you again.